What's going on, everybody? We are back. I am back, your boy Corey, for another episode of Tea and Worship. Now, I know y'all noticed something is wrong, something is off. Nobody's right here with me. We don't have Mignon, our wonderful co-host, but that's okay. She's out singing her face off as always, doing her thing, but she will be back, so don't be worried. She will be back, but I'm holding it down today, so bear with me. Love me. I know you do. But make sure that y'all keep watching every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Hope TV for Tea and Worship. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that bell so you get alerts. And make sure that you give us your comments. We want to hear from you. We want to know where you're watching from. We want to know what you think about the show. We want to know who you want to see on the show. Like, please, let's hear from you, all right? So, of course, today, as always, we got a wonderful, wonderful artist today, and we're gonna get into their business a little bit and get a wonderful performance. And today we have somebody that is no stranger to Tea and Worship. He's actually been here before, and he's back again, thankfully, in our studio instead of that virtual situation that we had, So we got him here today. He is a singer, a songwriter, producer, worship leader. He's even an actor, and he can actually act pretty well. I must say so myself. But we have him here today, and we are so happy to have once again on Tea and Worship our special guest today, Lawrence Flowers. Lawrence, what's happening?
What's good, man?
It's good to have you finally in the studio. I know when we had you before, you were at home, Mignon was at home, I was at home. So it was a little different, with the internet situation, but we are so glad that you finally were able to come here, actually, and so that the people can see you in our nice studio. We got a nice studio. We want people to see it. So Lawrence, I want to really get into this because thankfully me and Mignon have a relationship with you, of course, with serving here at House of Hope, and we have all become friends.
Yes.
But we also know that you are a Jacksonville native. Shout out to Jacksonville, Duval County.
Duval County.
And I really want to know, for you, how did Duval County or Jacksonville itself really shape who you are today?
Jacksonville, I would like to say, is a melting pot of talent. There's a lot of talent in the city.
There is, I've noticed.
Unfortunately, that talent doesn't always get to see the light. You go to Jacksonville and you hear all these great voices and you're like, where have you been? And literally that's where they are, and sometimes that's where they stay. And I don't say that to say that it's all the time a bad thing, because sometimes great voices belong in the city. Everybody isn't supposed to go out and abroad. But I was fortunate enough to go to school, get some teaching, learn a lot, and get my roots in the city of Jacksonville, Florida, with other artists and choirs. And that's really where it started. I was singing in the choir. Don't ask me to sing in the choir now, but
He does his own thing now.
It ain't that. I don't know if I ever had a choir voice, but I know now that I don't, especially not how choirs sing now. I love choir singing, but yeah, I'll be hoarse after one verse. So I typically just stick to my lane, as you would say. But yeah, I got my start singing in choirs. I sang in the progressive youth choir. I sang in the boys choir, the 100 Black Men Male Youth Choir of Jacksonville, Florida. Even sung in the boys choir of Tallahassee. Sung at school, church choir, Little Rock Baptist Church growing up. St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, Chosen Few, Reebok. I ain't gonna name all the schools, because then why did you go to so many high schools? That's a whole nother story. But yeah, man, I got my start just singing around the city. I tell people that my mom was the first person I ever tried to sound like. She was my first inspiration musically. I have a musical family. And so, growing up singing with my family in that church was where I got my start.
So it sounds like music just basically, like, you had no escape from it. Like, there's just it was going to be a part of your life no matter what, right?
No, man, it's been there. I feel, I really don't know, because I don't think I was cognizant in the womb, but I'm sure music was somewhere around my mom when I was in there. Because literally, I think my mom told me that I started singing at the age of 3.
Wow.
I know that my first concert was at the age of 5. Yeah, I was 5 years old, and my sisters, because I'm the baby, well, I was the baby at the time. My 2 sisters actually escorted me down the aisle for my concert at 5. It was at Christ Temple. I remember because I had on white. I don't know what I sang at 5. I don't know how I did a concert at 5.
I don't either.
But I did. And that's where I kind of got my start.
That's crazy. You did a concert at 5, and some kids don't even read well at 5, and you were doing the whole concert.
Aw.
I mean, some don't. Sorry if it's yours, my bad. But one thing I want to know is, with you having a musical upbringing, musical family, obviously there was probably music around as well. Were you one of those kids that couldn't listen to anything but gospel music in your house, or could you listen to other things, or were you influenced by other types of music at all?
Oh, I was influenced by any music I could literally put my ears to. I literally grew up listening to the old school. My dad had a massive record collection, and though my mom was a single parent, he started off in the home, and he had a massive collection of records. And you're talking about Temptations, Michael Jackson records, which, by the way, was probably my biggest influence, Michael Jackson.
I can believe it.
Good.
I can believe it.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, these were some of the classics that, just a few of what my father had. And then one of my aunts who just passed away, you could always catch her singing Anita Baker. So, that was listening to Anita Baker,
that's a good one.
Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder. Then, of course, there were the gospel influences. Daryl Coley was probably the biggest gospel influence on me vocally, along with Yolanda Adams. And I'm jumping back, Whitney Houston.
Back and forth.
Yeah, yeah, man, music was around. CeCe Winans growing up was an artist that I listened to. Early Vicki Winans.
Oh, yeah.
We Shall Behold Him.
Early.
That song my mom used to sing all the time, and I started singing it. It was one of the songs that I would sing as a solo when I would go out. So, yeah, I was pretty much shaped by music itself, not necessarily a genre, but music, period.
Got you. So it's just all up in you.
Yeah.
So you named a lot of different artists that you feel like have shaped you and have influenced you. If you had like a dream collaboration with somebody living or, that's gone on, that's dead, who would that person be and why?
Would it be like one collaboration?
It's up to you. You can have more than one.
Okay. So I'm thinking like I would love to Donny Hathaway, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Ray Charles, and I know it sounds like a lot going on. Daryl Coley.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to hear what that would sound like. Oh, and Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if it would be gospel. Praise the Lord. I know it would be amazing to get all of those great minds together.
Oh, yeah.
And to be able to glean from all of the richness of those gifts. They all contributed so much to music as we know it.
So true. And those of you who are singers, if you don't listen to Ella Fitzgerald, I'm sorry, but you need to get up on your game because it's almost like unmatched, some of the things that she did vocally.
Kimberell is amazing.
She is.
But trust me, she knows who Ella Fitzgerald is.
Definitely knows who Ella is.
That She was singing like that before that was even
Exactly.
a that. She's absolutely amazing.
Well, I want to ask you this because I don't think I've ever even heard you say this or not, or asked you this before, but being that, you have all of these different influences, being that, of course, we know you, the world knows you as an amazing gospel artist who has, a string of hits. One is More that everybody knows by Lawrence Flowers and Intercession. But have you ever been approached by someone to do secular music, R&B music, or anything like that? And have you ever considered doing something besides gospel?
Yeah, I actually have. Believe it or not, gospel is not easy to break into as far as the industry is concerned. There's a lot that is to be considered that I didn't know growing up. I thought it was you just had to mean it, be good enough, and love God. I thought those were the prerequisites.
Right.
And it actually had me feeling like I wasn't good enough. And maybe I didn't know God enough.
Wow.
And so it was one of those things to where, it did have me, looking at other things to do, but I stuck with it because it is the music that I love to sing and write more than anything. I love to sing about hope, but I have definitely thought about pursuing other genres just because I love music. And music is a universal language that I believe translates and transcends all barriers.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. You got the voice to do pretty much anything you want to. But
God bless you.
We're going to come right back with more Tea and Worship with our special guest, Lawrence Flowers. So please don't go anywhere. Make sure you come right back to Tea and Worship. We'll be right back, y'all.
And so home health care, I want to give you some words to share with our community.
Well, home health care meets you where you are, and we care for you where you call home. And we're there to provide the skilled care that you need to get you back to where you're able to do the things you used to do.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
In the morning, what are some of the first things that are important to you as far as your grooming in the morning?
I used to be what they call a metrosexual. I used to get manis, pedis, and facials, and I'm just starting back to getting my facials and stuff done.
I remember, it's funny that both of you brought up the metrosexual part of it, because I just remember that used to be, for a while, that was the thing. If you went and got groomed, that was the label that you got. And y'all excuse me, but I used to correct folks quick, like, I'm not even metrosexual, I'm just sexual. That's just so don't put no label on me. Don't put nothing on me.
Completely. I got to use that one.
I said I was just well groomed.
No. If you want to give me a label, let me get the right one.
Yeah.
But that's just, but I have learned that it's okay too for me to groom
absolutely.
myself.
What's going on? We are back with more Tea and Worship with Corey. No Mignon, but don't worry about it. She'll be back. She's just out doing her thing right now. But we have our special guest, Lawrence Flowers, in the building. He was just talking about, of course, some of his musical influences. But Lawrence, I really want to get into your album, your latest album that just came out, Merge, which just came out earlier this year, which is a phenomenal. If y'all don't have it, what are you waiting on? Get it now. Go ahead and get it right now.
Please.
Lawrence Flowers at Intermission, Merge. Go ahead and get it. But what was the process for you or the concept for that album, and what space were you in at the time when you were writing those particular songs?
Honestly, Merge is a collaborative effort of about 40 years of experience.
So your life experience. Everything.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get to a place where I could create and hear authentically and confidently like I do now. I was always trying to follow up some expectation, even though I feel like I stayed true to who I was or who I am. There was still that thing in the back of my mind that was like, but you got to do this and you got to do that. You at least got to do this. You got to, I know you like to color outside the lines, but you at least got to, And, with this album, I said, I'm going to give it another shot. Just being real, I said I'll give it another shot. If this one doesn't really work, I think I'm going to do something else, Like I said, it's not easy being an independent artist and hearing everybody say that, oh, you're good, oh, you're anointed, you're called to this. And you only see but certain levels of success when it comes to it. And I am in no means talking about singing on certain stages. Of course, that is a part of it. But for me, it's about massive influence and reach. It's like being okay with reaching one child when you have 5. A good parent, a caring parent, should I say, is not going to be satisfied with just reaching one.
So true.
When you have the responsibility of 5. It's always going to be there to want to reach. And so when you have more in you that you want to get out, and it seems like there's so many obstacles and things that are in front of you that's saying, no, you can't, not unless you do it like this. But if I do it like that, then I'm not being true to who God created me to be and how he gave it to me. And to be honest, you don't need another somebody that's already out there. They're doing it very well.
Right.
Tasha is Tasha. Kurt is Kurt. Jonathan is Jonathan. Wait, how many do we have? I know we have Jonathan McReynolds. Do we?
It's a few
Jonathan
of them.
Nelson. All of them. They are who they are, And we don't need carbon copies. We don't even need somebody to come and pick up the torch, because what they produce in the earth will continue to grow long after they're gone.
So true.
Look at some of the artists who have gone on before us. What they produced in the earth is still growing.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like when we don't tap into our creativity and our authenticity, we pretty much tell God that we don't trust his creation or his choice. And
so true.
If nothing else, I trust God. And I now trust his choice of me. And so I know that there are rules, but some rules are meant to be addressed. That's right.
Addressed.
Addressed. And some of us would not be where we are if we had adhered to certain rules.
Very true.
I remember at a time it was a rule where you couldn't drink from certain fountains. It was a rule where you couldn't sit certain places.
Oh, yeah.
There were rules that were put in place that if you were a certain sex, that you could not be in leadership. Some rules are meant to be addressed.
Yeah.
And so as we evolve, I won't say change, as we evolve into the people that we've always been, I like to say we're humans being, but still becoming. And so it helps me to understand my place and be comfortable. And so Merge is that. It's all of the influences and the freedom to express my testimony the way that God gave it to me. And way probably it was the front runner. You know, it's my ode to Jesus. For me, is the only way. Love is the only way. I love me.
Right.
I love who I was created to be. I love what God is doing in me. And that frees me to love everybody and see everybody as God sees them, valuable, just as they are. And so I wanted to create music that would hit you wherever you are and whoever you are. That you didn't feel like you had to look a certain way, be a certain way, go a certain place in order to feel God. I wanted to create music that would exist in church and out of church. And when I say that, I mean the four walls. And I feel like this album was able to do that. And I'm very proud of a lot of the things that has happened as a result of that. God's timing is always perfect, and I'm glad that I did not give up, you know?
We are glad that you didn't either. And one thing I would say about your music, to me, even before Merge, like even your albums before that, any music that you put out, I don't think, Lawrence, you've ever colored in between the lines. I think you've always done something that was different than just the status quo what everybody else was doing. And I personally think that's why your music has resonated so well for me, and I know a lot of other people probably feel the same way. And with you having success with songs like More, with Calculated, which hit #1 on billboards for what is it, digital, digital streams,
sales.
digital sales. Like when you have something like that happen, how does that make you feel as an artist? Does it make you feel somewhat validated? Do you even care about those things, or how does that make you feel?
I'd be lying and trying to be deep if I said, well, I don't care about that. I care about the souls. I do care about the souls. But that's a form of encouragement.
Definitely.
That sometimes everybody needs. I don't care how sold out you are to the process. Every now and then, you want somebody to say, good job.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then, you want somebody to say, you're doing an amazing work. You know, and when I've Merge is album number 5. And that's the first time that we hit billboards in that manner. An album that a lot of people don't even know exists, Shadow Worshipper, which was my 3rd album. It was the only other one that charted, and it charted at number 28. And here we are with Merge, and we debuted at number 2, the overall album, number 2 sales, and number 3 in consumption. A lot of people say, well, y'all actually had the number 1 gospel record because number 1 was Kanye. But Kanye, he did a gospel record.
He did.
Respect.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm not here to judge his life, but the message was it was gospel. And so I'm just glad to be among, you know, greatness and have that bit of recognition. But and then of course Calculated and Way both hit number 1. And yeah, it's been an amazing ride.
Has been amazing, and it's an amazing album. Did you not hear what I said? Get Merged now if you don't already have it. But time is running, so we got to pay some bills. But we will be right back with more Lawrence Flowers here on Tea and Worship with Corey and Mignon and Spirit. But we'll be right back.
This was about 2 weeks ago when I hooped. You know, of course, I got my content. Won't he make a way out of no way? You know, right? So they're connecting, you know, with the sermon, with the lyrics of the sermon, but they're also connecting with the note, and I know it, and I can feel when we're connected. When you're dating, you know, there's a connection. You know when there's chemistry, and hooping is not just jazz, it's not just soul, but it's a connection that the preacher has with his or her audience, and it's amazing.
You budget, you pay bills.
Yet somehow women like you, like me,
are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So here's what we're gonna do now. We're going to save ourselves by setting a goal to save 2% more of our income for our retirement.
Why 2?
1% honors you.
And 1% honors all womankind.
So come on, learn more about the 2% challenge at WeSaySaveIt.org.
Make yellow rice today. Nice fluffy rice. Look at that beauty.
Now we're gonna smother these ribs. We're gonna let them cook for about 45 minutes or so. I want them so tender, meat falling off the bone.
We are back with more Tea and Worship with Corey and Mignon somewhere, wherever she is right now singing.
We love you,
But we love you, Minnie. We really do. And we are here with our special guest, Lawrence Flowers. Now, Lawrence, I want to get into, we talked about it, or I talked about it at the top of the show, the fact that you are an actor, a bona fide, real actor. And I'm going to just briefly just kind of tell me how you got into acting, because we all know you, or most people know you as a wonderful singer, but how did you get into acting? And is this something that you want to pursue like full time as well?
Yeah, man. And I'm going to try to give it really quickly.
I know it's hard.
Acting has been a passion of mine since I was very little. When I was about 10 years old, I went to New York City to record for children's school books, Silver Burdette.
Nice.
And I went to my first Broadway show called Jelly's the Last Jam. Gregory Hines, Savon Glover. I was there with a lady by the name of Linda Twine. If you are familiar with Broadway and acting, you know that she's a phenomenal music director. And I got to see the show and meet these artists and these actors. And I was enamored by this form of art. And I wanted to do it. And from that moment, it planted a seed in me that over the years kind of got watered here and there, but not really any attention. When I moved to Atlanta, it's like the floodgates just opened. And from Black Nativity to Dreamgirls to Toxic Avenger to Five Guys Named Mo to Color Purple, which I've actually done twice now. I did it with Actors Express here in Atlanta, where I was the preacher, and also Old Mister. But I just did it at Main State off Broadway, and I was Harpo. And so, you know, Into the Woods. I have had a great opportunity to actually get my footing in my acting, in my acting career. I've done a couple things as far as TV. I was on 2.5 seasons of Greenleaf.
You were.
I made a quick appearance on Aretha Genius. I felt like it was some of my best acting. If you look at a scene, you'll see me. I said, that was it. That's all I did. But they got me.
They got
you
him.
know?
That's all that matters. He on there.
But yeah, man, I now don't just say I'm an artist that acts on the side. I'm an artist and an actor.
I love that.
I can do both because God gave me both,
Right.
the ability to do both. So I'm going to pursue both.
Right. And he did mention Black Nativity, which y'all make sure that you come see if you're in the Atlanta area coming up
definitely.
in December, because it's phenomenal. But really quickly before...
Really quickly.
Go ahead.
And I'll be doing The Wiz. February. I'll be Scarecrow in Lancaster.
Oh, that's going to be crazy.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, man.
What?
It's going to be
Oh,
dope.
we're going to have to go to Pennsylvania to see this, because that's crazy. I love that. But really quickly, I also want to bring up the fact that I saw on your social media that you will be at the Apollo Theater, the world-famous Apollo Theater, in December. Can you please quickly tell us about that?
I'm so excited about that. We're going to be headlining Apollo Cafe December 2nd.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so surreal. The guy who contacted my team pretty much said, you know, normally we go after, you know, non-gospel artists to do this. And we heard, he said he was a fan of the music and he wanted us to come this year for the Christmas holiday, he didn't want to just do Christmas songs. He wanted to give hope. And he said he felt like people needed hope. So he was like, I want you all to come and headline. And so we'll be headlining Apollo Cafe.
That's awesome.
Crazy. I have this picture of me when I went to New York as a 10-year-old. I couldn't see a show, but I went and took a picture in front of the Apollo sign. And so I have this picture of me as when I was 10 years old, standing in front of the Apollo sign.
What?
And literally 30 years later,
you're going to be performing.
I'll be headlining at the actual Apollo Cafe.
Well, you got to rub that wood thing. Make sure you rub that when you get in there for sure.
I'm going to find it.
Go
I
find
don't know if it's in the cafe, but I'm going to find that little wooden stump.
You better.
Yeah,
Well, I'm so excited about that for you and Intercession because I know that that's just a phenomenal opportunity. But before we go, we got to do our favorite section of the show. It's Mignon's favorite section. I know she's going to hate that she is not here, especially with Lawrence being our guest today. But we're about to do Church That Hook. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is where we take a song that's not a traditional gospel song, but we have our guests to actually church it up, whether they do it worship style or CCM style or quartet style or just straight Baptist or whatever they want to do with the song. So, Lawrence, the first song that we have for you is the viral sensation, Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell.
Man.
I know it's been done, but you know.
Why would you choose the highest song? I'm not doing it in the original key because I'm not 15, okay? Can we talk for a minute? God, I'm glad you know my name. Can we talk for a minute? God, I'm glad you know my name.
It's probably a good thing, Minnie, that you're not here because you probably would have had that baby listening to this good singing right here.
On the stage.
And I would have left. Yeah, you probably should, re-record that. I mean, you should.
I will not.
You're not gonna do it?
I will not be sued.
The gospel version, yeah, I don't want you sued. Okay, and the second song that we have for you is Joe, I Want to Know, but the bridge,
Joe?
tell me what I got to do to please you part. Joe, yeah. I know you love Joe. I know you are a fan of Joe, so go ahead.
I love listening to Joe, not singing Joe. Tell me what I gotta do to please you. Baby, anything you say I'll do. 'Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart, it's true. Tell me what I gotta do to please you. Anything you say, I'll do. 'Cause I only wanna make you happy. From the bottom of my heart, it's true. Yeah. Woo, see? I'm done.
Good thing that Minnie wasn't here because she probably would have had that baby. But listen, we want to thank Lawrence Flowers for being here today. Lawrence, before we totally go, I want you to please look in that camera and please let the people know how they can reach you via social media, and also just leave an encouraging word for the people before we go, please.
You can reach me on Instagram, official Lawrence Flowers, or LF Intercession. On Instagram, did I say Facebook?
You didn't.
Okay, Facebook is Lawrence Flowers and Intercession, or either Lawrence Flowers. And there's also, by way of the website, which is lfimusic.com. Special shout out to my team, Anderson Music Group, label I'm a part of, Lawrence Flowers and Intercession, my family, my manager, everybody who has made what I do possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to everyone that supports what we do, thank you so much. We could not do it without you, and we wouldn't be where we are without your support and your love. Continue to pray for us, continue to hold us up. And to everybody that is aspiring to do what it is that you feel like you were put on this earth to do it the way that it's been given to you. And I want you to be authentic. Be authentic. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it, because somebody on this earth needs your authenticity. They're waiting to be themselves when they see you walk in the realness of who you are. God is in truth. And if you live a life of truthfulness, God will honor that. And everything that needs to happen, God will bring it to pass. Be encouraged. I love you. And stay on the lookout. Some more things are coming.
I love that. Somebody is waiting on you. Just be you. Be authentically yourself. But we want to thank our special guest, Lawrence Flowers, for being here once again in our studio. We want him back, especially with like Intercession, the band, everybody. We want you to come back with everybody. But we want him back. But we want to thank him for being here. We want to thank you for watching. Make sure that you keep it locked here every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on The Hope TV for more Tea and Worship with me. And Mignon will probably be here the next time with me.
Minnie.
So I know y'all miss her. Minnie, we love you. We miss you. But make sure that y'all keep it locked, because don't go anywhere, because we're going to have a special performance by Lawrence Flowers in Intercession right after this. But we want to see you next week. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
Cold and clammy is the world we live in, but your light can bring about a changing. I see the signs of desperation, void of love. I can't imagine us remaining. In the dead of night, I'm awake at night, but I look for the light that will burn if you ignite the fire. Say, set us on fire, and we will burn for you through the night. Give us your power.